Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 4, and this is my crushing difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Chapter 1 of 22. It is entitled The Lure of Adventure, and I will be going over some of the button commands for this in just a moment, because we have a part coming up where you are doing a little bit of stealth, and it's a tutorial section. By the way, I really detest the 16th chapter, which is for all intents, it's the conclusion to this installment here, chapter 1, only because there's really no gameplay, and it's not tutorializing you at all or anything like that. At least on this, you're jumping around, scaling things, doing a little stealth, and it is tutorializing what you're going to be doing for the remainder of the game. So while I don't have a grievance with this particular chapter 16, I really do, and I hate that chapter above all. But coming up over here, and remember, you're not going to see button prompts on my screen. They want you to do a corner transition. So what this is anytime you're at one side of a 90-degree angle, you press in the direction of the way you want to go. In this case, it'll be up. So right here, it's up and hold circle to do the cover transition, which keeps you in cover. To do a cover slip or a roll, all you do is press the left analog stick in the direction you want to go and then press circle. You don't have to hold circle. And there also is a SWAT turn in this game, if you didn't know it. It's one of the joys of coming back and reduxing a guide, because when I covered this game in 2016, I mistakenly said that there was no SWAT turn, but there actually is a SWAT turn. And if you don't know what that is, a SWAT turn is moving from unconnected adjacent pieces of cover. And to do that, you move the left analog stick in the direction you want to go, and you hold the circle button. So you can kind of get the theme of that. Anytime you're holding the circle button, you're staying in cover, and that can keep you safe in this type of a game. Okay, so there's quite a few settings for the Legacy of Thieves Collection that I'm playing this on. You have 3 rendering modes, and I'm not going to be talking about the PC version here. This is just for the PlayStation 5, which I'm playing on. You have Fidelity Mode, which is 4K and which targets 40 FPS. Then you've got Performance Mode. That's the one I happen to be using. What that is that the visuals are rendered at 140p, output at upscaled 1440p or 4K, depending on what you have your system settings put to on your PS5. And it targets 60 FPS. And then the third one is Performance Plus. And on that one, the visuals are rendered and output at 1080p with a target of 120 FPS. And I can't use 120 hertz with the Elgato 4K utility software, so I can only ever put it up to 60 hertz. And what happens in that case is that while Fidelity Mode and Performance Mode can be perfectly seen and exampled when you play them, the Performance Plus mode, while it can be accessed out of 120 hertz, what happens is I have to have my images buffered through the software, and then I record. So when I have tried to use Performance Plus, I don't like to use it because there doesn't seem to be much of any benefit, seeing as how things do have to get buffered through the software program, and I just don't see 120. And when you are on Performance Mode, the visuals are cut down in quality quite a bit. So I think it's a happy medium if you do want to think about it in the way that I'm using this, to have Performance Mode so that we can have 1440 output rendered or I think it's called upscaled to 1440 or 4K, and have 60 FPS. Because the hit on the visuals with performance mode, it's just a little bit too much for me. And the PC version at this point in time is pretty abhorrent, because it has this process by which it needs to render shaders and load shader compilation before the game starts every time. And there is a message from the developers stating that if you have a GPU with 8 gigabytes of VRAM or more, you don't have to partake in the shader rendering and loading whatever it is. It's just compiling shaders before you play the PC version. I still have to do that. I don't know what the problem is, but it's a lot of time to have to wait. It's like 10 minutes of waiting for those things to load every time you want to play the game. Whereas on this, you can just play instantly, and there's hardly any waiting time. The loads are damn near non-existent, and that even goes for when you're accessing the game from a state of it being just cold and you're restarting the game or restarting the system. It's very snappy. But the PC version, I was waiting for a lot of good things with that, but I definitely got burned by that. So it's unfortunate. And this game also, if you leave it on too long, it can start to stutter. So if that happens, you just want to reset the game. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, I don't think I'll have time exactly to go over it completely, but it was just some of the other issues that put me off of the PC version, and some of the other preferences, and overall, I just feel really comfortable within the PlayStation 5 ecosystem. And just the masterful presentation that this game has, and the frame rate. I don't need 120. I mean, I can access it, and it would be nice, but I've always wanted this game to be at 60, and now it's at 60, so I'm not going to complain at that point. Anyway, chapter 1 is finished. I will see you in the second chapter. Until then, please take care.